right.
or work
And
with
Eddie
him. But
Murphy, if you go, if you, I mean, a lot of those, Eddie Murphy was 19 years old. I mean, he was a teenager.
as a kid,
Yeah, and he was like doing like a lot of the early movies. Like people give Eddie Murphy flack now because he doesn't do his movies typically aren't all that good now. They're kid movies, a lot of them. But you can't take away 10 to 12 to 15 years of comedic genius.
crushed it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh my
if
gosh.
just imagine if you could have like two or three of those hit films in your life, or two, three of those things, but he's got at least 10 good movies, you know, at least 10 funny movies. He's got a couple funny years on SNL. You know, he's got all the
Great
funny,
stand up.
yeah, the funny stand up. Even if you watch comedians in cars getting coffee, the Jerry Seinfeld, I think it's on Netflix.
Netflix.
Eddie Murphy is a good one. Have you watched any of those? There's
Yeah, I've watched a few of them, but I haven't watched Eddie Murphy's.
the Eddie Murphy one's good. The Steve Martin one is pretty good.
Oh, Steve
I've
Martin's
just
so good.
cherry picked a few different ones. Usually comedians that I like on there. Um, but I guess my last one would be,
Wait, I thought you had six.
well, I have honorable mention written by the sixth one
We'll put it. Well,
actually,
I want to know who
which I
that
had
is.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, he's. It's sad that
Chevy
he
Chase
didn't stay on
as
there long
honorable
enough
mention.
because he was only
Yes,
on there for that first season.
yeah. Just imagine had he been on there maybe 3 seasons. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I read that he left partly because he was in love with a lady that lived in LA. Plus, LA was, you know, Hollywood was calling to make movies, so he left. However, you know, it seems to me I would have stayed another year and just commuted back and forth. But you know, I guess if you get chances to be in movies, I guess you have to take it. You know, it seems
Yeah,
now it's a lot easier to juggle doing a TV show and movies than it was then. You know what I mean? You didn't
yep.
see that as often because TV used to be bull considered below movies, and now I think it's on even ground for the most part. And I also had Mike Myers as well, but that's kind of questionable. I
Oh,
like
he was good. He had
I
some
liked
great characters.
I liked a lot of the things that he did, and I think that I've been looking at Mike Myers' filmography though, and if you take away Shrek, he's not he's not been in that many movies. Mike Myers,
But he, oh, I
you know.
like Mike Myers. Uh,
I like Mike Myers in every. I like him. I think one of my favorite movies of Mike Myers is So I Married an Axe Murderer.
that's another good dark comedy.
Yeah, and it's one that not. I mean, more people have seen it, but not all that many people have seen it though.
Yeah, oh, it's such a good movie. I had a
Okay.
student, so I teach all these like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And I was sitting in class one day and a student, this little girl in the back, like this little straight-laced girl goes, she's like, have you ever seen the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer? That's like our Christmas tradition is to watch that movie. And I'm like,
That is.
you've got like the coolest family in the world. Like, who are your parents? They did
All
an
right, gather around,
excellent.
kids. We're gonna watch
Yeah,
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I was like, your parents did an amazing job raising you because you know what the Married an Axe Murderer is.
That's a good tradition.
But
That's.
I think that's a great movie. I liked the Wayne's World movies.
I've never
I
watched the
liked
second Wayne's World. I've only watched the first one.
it's the first one's better,
Okay.
but I like the Austin Powers movies. I was a big fan of that
Yeah.
character. I didn't like the third one as much, but I think he was pretty. I don't know, but he's
Uh,
Cat in the Hat was awful.
the Cat in the Hat was bad. In The Love Guru. Have you watched that one?
Yeah, yeah, it was
It's
terrible.
it's. I tried to rewatch it about when I first moved up here. It's rough.
Yeah, he's
Rough.
doing something called the Gong Show.
Yeah, he
Gong
did the
Show.
Gong Show, but he did the Gong Show in character as a
Oh,
different character, and it was only I don't know how many episodes it lasted.
looks like it went 2 seasons or 1 season.
But you there's some clips of it on YouTube though. But he's in like some kind of
Oh,
character,
yeah, I'll have to look that up.
so
Huh.
that was pretty interesting. But
Okay.
yeah, SNL.
Wait. Who's your number one? Did you give him?
Well, see, Tina Fey, Adam Sandler. The order that I have them is Tina Fey, Adam Sandler, Mike Myers, Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, and Chevy Chase is honorable mention.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
That's the way that I really didn't have them in any particular order. I just wrote them down that way.
gotcha.
So, but yeah, when I was going through, there's a lot of notables. I'll go over a few little notables before we sign off. Julia Louis Dreyfus, she was a cast member.
Once she was 19 when she got on there.
Wow, I didn't realize she was so young.
Yep.
Um, let's see, Gilbert Godfrey, we said him. Billy Crystal, we said these
He
people.
was one. So another thing they did was at one point they went and hired an older cast, which was like a lot different. And Billy Crystal was part of the older cast because he's already established as a
Yeah.
person before he even started SNL.
I, I don't. I've seen Billy Crystal on SNL before, but I've only clips. I've never seen like an entire show. But if you want a fun Billy Crystal show, it's on Hulu called The Comedians. It's 13 episodes, only 30-minute episodes, and only one season. And I would recommend those to anybody that likes Billy Crystal. I'm surprised I wished it would have lasted 2 seasons at least, because you can tell as the episodes go, it's kind of like almost like a mockumentary type set up, as where Billy plays himself. This guy, Josh Gad, plays himself. Billy's the older comedian. Josh Gad's the younger comedian. And they're put together to create a sketch comedy show. So the show is about behind the scenes of this older comedian and younger comedian kind of butting heads, creating the sketch comedy show. So I would recommend it. It's not a bad way to spend, 30 minutes I think there's 13 episodes. So I've watched them each a couple times each. So what's your final thought on SNL? Would you want to be a cast member on SNL?
One of my goals in life is to walk through that door hosting Saturday Night Live. I don't know if I don't really see how that's ever going to happen. But
Yeah,
I think I grew up watching SNL. My parents were big into it. They'd stopped. But then my sister's 5 years older than me. She started watching it. So we would hide in the basement and watch it all the time. And I just think that idea of like coming up with, and I've done this a few times with some stuff, and I'm sure you've done it too, of you come up with an idea early in the week and then you
right.
go out and like film it and then it's out in the world by the end of the week.
Yeah,
It's the craziest thing. I think sketch comedy, sketches are like the best thing in the world. And to me, SNL has done it the best because they've been able to work in comedy, sketches, news, music, monologues, all of those things. I think the cast is great right now. I really like them, except for Kate McKinnon. But I feel like they've gotten into this routine, and I would love to see them kind of break out a little bit
right,
and do it a little bit more variety style than what they've done for the
right.
last 20, 30 years. But I think that it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when Lorne Michaels finally steps away. And I just hope that either Adam McKay or
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey. I'd rather have Tina Fey